So let's talk on angles of elevation versus angles of depression. And it's not too hard to catch the difference when we're just talking about it. But sometimes in problems, students get tricked. Typically, the question that asks about angle of depression is one of the most missed things on tests. So let's give an example. So let's say I'm hanging out from my eyes. That's it. It's a pretty good self-portrait. I kind of look like that. No hair. Turn sideways. I'm invisible. Pretty thin. So let's say there's an object over here. Like, let's say I'm looking at the moon. So I want to know, what's the angle of elevation? Well, we're always going to use, sorry, pulling out a ruler from my eye level. We're going to use this axis. Cool. So an angle of elevation would be like looking up at the moon. And that would be our angle of elevation. I'm going to talk about our angle of depression. I'm just going to make the line the other way. It's called phi or phi or what have you. Now let's say there's a dollar bill sitting on the ground. Let's make it 20. And I notice that. Well, the angle of depression is down here. It is not here. But it's really easy to get tricked by that. It's really easy to get tricked by that. So we want to think of an angle of depression as when you're above something. When you're above something. You use an angle of elevation when you look up at something. And I use this silly thing. Now, elevate, like just take your head and you're looking forward. Now elevate, look up. That's elevation. What do you do when you're depressed? You hang your head, don't you? Your head goes down, an angle of depression. So let's see if we got it. Sorry about this little, I've copied and pasted this too many times. As you can see, it's very messed up. But let's check this problem out. So we got a security camera in a neighborhood bank, and it's mounted on a wall 9 feet above the floor. I'm just going to do one of those. The floor, let's say we got some sort of security cam. And it's 9 feet above the floor. It asks us, what angle of depression should be used if the camera is to be directed to a spot 6 feet above the floor and 12 feet from the wall? So let's go 12 feet from the wall, and then let's go up 6 feet. Well, we want to know the angle of depression. Let me draw the camera a little bit more like it's facing it. There we go. So we want to know the angle of depression. All right, cool. So let's just make a triangle, right? Let's just make a triangle. Come out from here. Oh, oops. And then we can make ourselves a nice right triangle, huh? There we go. There we go. Now we just solve it and find this angle, right? No. That's not the angle of depression. The angle of depression always works off of a parallel. The angle of depression is right here. Ha. So this would be our triangle to solve it. And that's a right angle. Well, if we know that it's 12 feet from here to here, it's 12 feet. And if the camera is mounted 9 feet above the ground and the object is 6 feet, what's left? What's the difference between 9 and 6? It's 3. So as we look at this from this angle, we have the opposite of 3. We have the adjacent is 12. Therefore, tangent of theta is equal to 3 over 12, or 1 over 4. But it doesn't matter. You're going to punch it in a calculator. Now we hit it with an inverse. And theta is equal to inverse tangent of 3 over 12, or 1 over 4. If you want to reduce it down more, you can let your calculator do it. And we get approximately 14.0 degrees. That would be the angle. Now, if you were to have chosen this angle instead, not the angle that we're looking for, not the angle, we would actually get the complement of 14 degrees. It'd be 90 minus 14. We'd find the wrong one. But I thought I'd mention it. These two angles are equal. So you see, you find the complement if you don't have this right. So I'm going to try and trick you on your exam, telling you, your teacher telling you in advance, so it's not too much of tricking you. And I'm going to try and bait you into not giving me the angle of elevation, give me the other angle. And I want you to prove me wrong. Okay, so there will be some more angle of depression in your homework, so you can get some practice. And if you get it wrong, I'll bet you anything, if you subtract that number from 90, you'll get it right. Okay, cool. I think maybe we'll do one more. There's something I want to talk about that's a little off topic. And maybe just one more word problem. All right, see you then.